What's up everybody, back for another Honkai Star Rail video, and we have a new MOC, meaning obviously we gotta go over the best characters to use in this MOC. So, this MOC's buff at the start of every wave or cycle, apply memory imprint to an enemy target of elite level or higher. This effect lasts until the start of the next cycle. Memory imprint is a special kind of burn effect. The holders of this effect receive fire dot at the start of each turn. When allied targets use their skill attacks on a target with memory imprint, they will deal additional damage equal to 220% of the attacker's attack to the target and adjacent targets, which is kind of cool because it helps some characters get a little bit of AoE action in there. The bosses this time are Savarog and Aventurine, so expect some dice shenanigans on the second half, and of course the hand that will grab on your characters if you do not deal with Savarog fast enough in the first fight. So as always, let's go over some of the characters now. Okay, so first things first, we got to go over pretty much like the meta support characters, right? Sarija, when she comes out, would be pretty good for this because whatever team you're using her on, whether it be Phaedon, which he'll probably just one-shot the enemy at this point, honestly, because how strong he is, or someone like Anaxa, getting more skills in, meaning you get more damage in because of the buff, right? Then other characters such as like Cypher, Hyacine, Tribby, Fugue if you're using Break, Sunday, Linksha, Robin, Aventurine, Ron May, Huo, Gallagher, Silverwolf is also a really good character as well now because she got buffed, right? Now we are going to skip over to the both category because holy hell, there's actually a ton of characters who are really good for this MOC. Obviously, we got to put all the dot characters here because this is kind of a MOC catered towards them, along with Phaedon and Anaxa because they are characters who like to use their skill. Phaedon, he's just OP. He hits hard as hell. Anaxa doesn't really care what the enemy's weaknesses. He'll break it anyway. He uses skills a ton too because he has like double skill action going on, right? So obviously two characters who will be really good. Another character who is going to be extremely good in this is actually going to be Archer. All right. His main issue is he can't hit multiple enemies. With this, he will do some extra damage. Obviously, he's not going to be tearing through both of them at the same speed, but Archer is a very strong character, so obviously we got to put him in here. Acheron's another good character. You know, she has the elemental advantage in both of them, right? Savrog will get melted, especially because you're applying a fire dot, right? Meaning, sorry, I had to clear my throat. Meaning Acheron will get a buff to her ult gauge on the memory imprint, right? So that is a big W there. Another character who can also get a lot of action here is Aglia, just because she also is going to be a good element. Plus, she works well for Aventurine because Aventurine has his dice mechanic, right? And then she's blast, so she should be able to get a good score on that. And then she'll also be able to target Savrog's hand if he summons it. Obviously, if he grabs her, then you know you're kind of out of luck there. But she will also be pretty solid, even though she does basic attacks. Next up is going to be characters that you're probably just going to use on one half and then call it a day, right? So let's get the Aventurine one out of the way. This will be Jinglu and Herta, mostly because they have not both AoEs, but they hit multiple dice at the same time, so you won't have to worry there. Plus, they're going to be very strong. Jinglu recently got buffed. Herta is still extremely strong, so you're good to go there, right? On the Savarog side, Saber is going to be pretty good, right? I mean, she just came out. Phaedra's actually pretty solid on this half, right? Just because there's just two enemies and then two enemies again, so you don't have to worry about a bunch of enemies spawning and Phaedra struggling because she is an AoE. Blade will also be pretty good. Recently got buffed. No shocker there. I'm going to throw Firefly onto the Works one, right? Most of the Super Break team is fire, and while she does implant, it is always nice to be able to break it regardless, even if you're on that one weird scenario where either they're attacking first or Firefly has implanted or it ran out, whatever it is, right? It is nice to have fire weakness, so that is a big W there. The only reason I'm putting her in works for this is because there is an enemy in the first fight before you get to the boss that does seal toughness, which could be very annoying to deal with if you don't break him quickly. Plus he has an action advance when he does it, so break will struggle quite a bit on Subrog. And then for Adventuring, it's gonna be mad annoying because the dice, right? So you do have to keep that in mind as well. That's why like Mide is not really good for him, because Mide will just kind of just, you know, I won't say fully waste because it's not like he chooses to do it, but he will waste his big attack on the dice if you just accidentally proc it during that. So that is a bit annoying. Castor should also be pretty solid against both of these, right? So I guess I'll put her in here as well. I mean, she's kind of like Herta, where she's kind of just works with like every single boss, right? But other than that, it's mostly the characters I'm going to choose. You could probably get some niche picks like Argenti, right? Just because one Argenti skill will clear out Adventuring. But overall, these are probably the best characters to choose. It's really just Dot, Phanon, and Shell at the same time, right? Because I think this MOC will actually switch when Ceridra is out, right? So I guess putting her there isn't really like the best choice. I mean, I'm just gonna put her there regardless, because it really just is how can we help Dot, because Hycelians will come out and Dot's kind of just like not needing the buff entirely, but obviously they gotta shill the current archetype that they're trying to buff with whatever banner. And they also want to, you know, milk Phanon, because Phanon's like their money maker. So they want people who summon for Phanon to feel like validated for it, I guess. So obviously they got to show him a little bit longer. Obviously other characters can work. This is just what I recommend. Let me know in the comments below what you recommend, what you cleared with, and of course I will catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.